After age 60, declining stem cells and stubborn belly fat accelerate physical decay rapidly. But here's something no one tells you. As a 106-year-old doctor with 80 years of medical experience, I know one switch that begins reversing this damage in hours, not days, not weeks, but hours. I'll show you exactly what happens inside your metabolism within 24 hours of activating this. Your energy will surge, that exhausting fatigue will disappear. At age 65, I used this to save my life, and I've ranked all 5 foods from worst to best, so you know exactly which ones actually work and which ones are complete garbage. The action at number 1 helps reactivate cellular repair rapidly. That's the difference between needing your children to shop for you and driving yourself to the store. The difference between ending up in a nursing home and living independently at 106 like I do today. And here's the biggest surprise. It might be in your kitchen right now, but you're using it the wrong way. Keep watching, because what I'm about to reveal is the complete opposite of the count every calorie advice you've been fighting. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why your belly fat hasn't budged despite following all the experts' advice. I'm Dr. Arthur Pendleton. I'm 106 years old. I practiced medicine for more than 80 years, and I still live completely on my own. I cook my own breakfast every single morning. I tend my own garden. I've never spent a single night in a nursing home. At 65, I had a belly I couldn't lose no matter what I tried. My blood sugar crept higher every single year. I was tired in a way that sleep just didn't fix. And when I cut my hand out in the garden, that little cut took weeks to heal. Weeks. As a doctor, I knew exactly what that meant. My body had stopped repairing itself the way it used to. Now I'm going to tell you the truth the miracle sellers won't. As we age, our bodies quietly flip a priority. When we're young, we're built to repair, renew, and burn. As the years pass, we drift the other way, storing fat and healing slowly. And the following 5 foods can effectively restore stem cells. Number 5, and I'll be honest with you, when I first learned this, I didn't believe it. If you've got high blood sugar, you've probably been told to stay away from potatoes and white rice. Too many starches, they spike your sugar, and most of the time that's true. But here's the twist that changed everything for me. It's not just what you eat, it's the temperature. When you cook a potato or a pot of rice, and then you let it cool down completely in the refrigerator overnight at least, something physical happens inside it. The starch actually rearranges itself into a form your body can no longer fully break down. We call it resistant starch because it resists digestion. Instead of flooding your blood with sugar, it passes deeper into your gut, where it becomes food for the good bacteria living down there. And this is where it gets interesting. Those bacteria, once you feed them, produce a compound that your gut absolutely loves. It helps calm inflammation. It helps steady your blood sugar. And some research suggests it even supports the very cells that constantly rebuild the lining of your gut. One little compound made by bacteria you already own, just because you let your dinner get cold. So here's exactly what I do, and I've done it for decades now. On a Sunday, I cook a batch of potatoes or rice. Then I put them in the refrigerator and leave them at least overnight. A full day is even better. After that, I eat them throughout the week, and here's the kind part. You can even warm them back up, and most of that resistant starch stays right where it is. Cold potato salad, a rice bowl reheated as a side dish, it all works. If potatoes aren't your thing, a slightly green banana does something similar. I slice one into my morning routine, and I hardly taste the difference. Now, a word of caution because I'm still a doctor. This does not mean starch is suddenly a free-for-all. Portion still matters, especially if your blood sugar runs high. So, keep an eye on how your own body responds. But for me, cooling my starches was one of the simplest changes I ever made, and it left my blood sugar steadier than it had been in years. That's two changes now, both about food and timing. The next one is about fighting the quiet fire that ages every single one of us. And it's probably sitting in your spice cabinet right now. But before I give it to you, let me ask one small thing. If any of this is helping, if you're hearing things nobody ever bothered to tell you, take a second and subscribe and tap that little bell. I'm just an old man sharing what kept me on my own 2 feet, and it truly means the world to know you're out there listening. All right, number 4. This one is bright yellow. It's older than I am, and most people use it completely wrong. I'm talking about turmeric, that golden spice. You've probably heard it's good for inflammation, and it is. But here's the mistake nearly everyone makes, and I made it too, for a very long time. The active part of turmeric barely gets into your body on its own. You can eat spoonful after spoonful, and most of it passes right through you doing almost nothing. For years, I thought turmeric simply didn't work. The truth was I wasn't absorbing any of it, so what's the fix? It turns out there's a simple partner that changes everything. Black pepper, just a pinch of ordinary black pepper taken together with your turmeric, can dramatically increase how much your body actually absorbs. We're talking about a night and day difference, and there's one more piece. Turmeric needs a little fat to come along with it, because that's how it travels into your blood. So here's how I take it, and it couldn't be easier. A teaspoon of good turmeric, a pinch of freshly ground black pepper, and a little healthy fat, a bit of olive oil, or I'll stir the whole thing right into my eggs. Warm water works, a smoothie works, and taken with a real meal, your body soaks up even more of it. Why do I bother with all this? Because as we age, we carry a kind of low, quiet inflammation. You can't feel it, but it wears the body down year after year, and it makes it harder for your own repair systems to keep up. Turmeric, absorbed properly, is one of the gentlest ways I know to turn that fire down a little. And you knew a but was coming. I have to be your doctor again for a second. Turmeric in these amounts can thin your blood, and it can nudge your blood sugar down too. That sounds just fine until you remember that some of you are already on blood thinners, like warfarin, or already on medication for diabetes. Stacked together, that can go too far. So if that's you, this is a conversation for your doctor before you start. It's not a no, it's just a check first. Now we've calmed the fire, the next one wakes up your body's own defenses. And it's not the vegetable you're thinking of. Number 3, and I promise you, this is not an old man telling you to eat your broccoli, because it's not broccoli I'm talking about. It's broccoli sprouts, the tiny ones, just a few days old, barely more than little green threads. And here's the surprising part. Those little sprouts can carry many times more of one remarkable compound than a full head of grown broccoli ever could. That compound switches on something extraordinary inside you. Let me explain it simply. Every cell in your body has a kind of built-in defense crew sitting there waiting for the signal to get to work. This compound in the sprouts is one of the strongest natural ways we know of to send that signal. And when it does, your cells switch on their own protective and repair machinery, the systems that fight the daily wear and tear of aging from the inside out. And there's a bonus that mattered a great deal to me. There's research suggesting this same compound helps your body handle blood sugar better, helping you use it for energy instead of storing it as fat around your middle. For a man fighting both high sugar and a stubborn belly, that was 2 birds with one very small stone. Now, the how matters here more than usual, so listen closely. You have to eat these sprouts raw. Cooking them destroys the very thing that makes the compound work. And you have to chew them well. The chewing itself is part of what activates it. You can grow them yourself for pennies. Soak a spoonful of broccoli sprouting seeds overnight in a jar, then rinse them twice a day for a few days. And you'll have a full jar of fresh sprouts. Eat about a handful a day. Toss them on a salad, blend them into a smoothie, or just eat them straight from the jar. One old trick, a tiny pinch of mustard powder sprinkled on top, actually helps your body make even more of the good stuff. As always, a gentle caution. In very large amounts, these sprouts can affect the thyroid in some people. So if you have thyroid trouble or you take medication for it, keep your portion sensible and mention it to your doctor. For most of us, a daily handful is simply one of the most powerful things you can grow right there on your own kitchen counter. That's 3. Now for the one that surprised me most, number 2. A little black seed that people have trusted for 0 years, and that science is only now beginning to understand. Number 2, of everything I changed, this was the one I least expected to matter. And it comes from a seed so small you could hold 1,000 of them in the palm of your hand. Black seed oil, it's been used as a folk remedy for more than 2,000 years. My own grandmother kept a bottle of it, and for most of my career I thought of it as an old wives' tale. Then I actually looked at what modern researchers were finding, and I had to eat my words. Inside that little seed is a compound that appears to flip one of the body's most important switches. Let me explain what I mean, because this is the heart of it. Deep in your cells, there's a kind of master control for your metabolism, a switch that, when it's turned on, tells your body to stop hoarding fat and start burning it for energy instead. Exercise flips that switch, fasting flips it, and it seems black seed oil can help flip it too through its own separate door. That's exactly why I could stack it on top of the other things I was already doing. It works right alongside them, not instead of them. And the results people see in the research are encouraging. Studies on black seed oil have pointed to help with blood sugar, with the waistline, with weight, the very things I was fighting at 65. Now, I want to be careful here. These are aids, not miracles. They nudge, they don't erase. But a nudge repeated every single day for years is precisely how I got from where I was to where I am. Here's how I take it. About half a teaspoon to a teaspoon a day, and I started small, just half, to let my stomach get used to it. It's got a strong, sharp taste, so I chase it with a little raw honey, which happens to be a lovely pairing. And quality truly matters with this one. Buy coal, pressed oil in a dark glass bottle because heat and light ruin the good part. The cheap stuff often isn't worth your money, but here is my most serious warning of this entire video, so please don't skip it. Black seed oil can lower your blood sugar, and it can lower your blood pressure. That's wonderful, unless you're already taking medication to lower those very things, because then they stack together and can push you too low. Low blood sugar and low blood pressure are dangerous, especially at our age. So, if you take anything for diabetes or for blood pressure, you do not start this on your own. You start it with your doctor watching. I cannot say that strongly enough. Number 1, and this one costs you nothing at all. In fact, it asks you to do less, not more. Most people my age were taught that if you want to lose weight, you eat less food, smaller portions, count every calorie. And I did that for years. It barely moved the needle. Here's what I had backwards. It wasn't just about how much I ate. It was about when, let me explain it plainly, every hour that you're eating, your body is in storage mode, taking in fuel, tucking some of it away as fat. But when you give your body a long enough break from food, something shifts. It runs out of the easy fuel, and it turns to burning what it's already stored. And on top of that, during that break, your cells do a kind of housekeeping. They clean out the worn-out parts and recycle them. Scientists have a fancy word for it, autophagy, but you can just think of it as your body taking out the trash. And here's what caught my attention as a doctor. Researchers have found that giving the body these regular breaks from food can boost the repair activity of the cells that renew our tissues. at least in careful lab studies. That renewal was exactly what I was missing at 65. So what did I actually do? I simply stopped eating earlier in the evening, and I didn't eat again until mid-morning. That's it. I finished my dinner, and then I let my body rest overnight and into the next morning, 12 hours to start. Then, over a few weeks, I stretched it a little longer. Water in the morning, black coffee if you like it, but nothing with sugar or cream, because the moment those calories hit your tongue, the break is over. Now stop. This is the most important sentence in this whole section. If you take any medication for diabetes or blood sugar, you cannot just start skipping meals on your own. It can drop your blood sugar dangerously low. The same goes if you're frail, underweight, or have ever had trouble with eating. This is exactly the kind of change you make with your doctor watching. For me, my own doctor adjusted a few things carefully, and my morning blood sugar started coming down within weeks. What really matters? So there they are, 5 things. A break from food-cooled starches, turmeric with its little pinch of pepper, a handful of raw sprouts, and a spoon of black seed oil. Every one of them is already within your reach, and not a single one needs a clinic or a fortune. But now I have to tell you the truest thing I know after 106 years of living it. The food is maybe 30% of it, the other 70%, that's how you live, and no spice on this earth can do that part for you. I have watched too many of my old friends give up, and not their bodies first, their spirit first. They decided they were finished, that they were a burden, that the best of life was already behind them. And once a person decides that, the body tends to follow. I made a different choice. I decided I still had a reason to get up in the morning. I kept my hands busy in the garden. I kept my mind curious. I kept people in my life, and I let them keep me. That, far more than any single food, is why I'm still here, cooking my own breakfast, sleeping in my own bed, beholden to no one. You are not too old. You are not too far gone. Your body is not your enemy. It has been waiting all this time for you to give it a reason and a little bit of help. Start with just one of these 5 things this week. Just one. And bring the idea to your doctor as a partner, not a problem. That's the man I tried to be for 80 years, and it's the doctor I truly hope you find. If an old man's words meant something to you today, do me one small kindness. Subscribe so I can keep sharing what I've learned, and down in the comments, tell me 2 things. How old you are and where in the world you're watching from. I read every single one of them myself. It reminds me that none of us is really doing this alone. Take good care of yourself. And I'll see you next time.